Hey guys, and welcome to Development Devotionals. This is a new YouTube experiment for me and for us here at Thrive Baseball, and I want to kind of provide some just really important, actionable stuff that you guys as baseball players can take away and take to the field. All stuff here from the Bible, just showing how relevant the Bible is to all aspects of life, but especially to you as baseball players and to me as a former baseball player. And I'm hoping that it can be a source of encouragement for you, that it can be just an avenue for you to pour truth into your life as a player and to get your mind right, to renew your mind. We're always battling that as players, man. We're always fighting off lies, fighting off fears, anxieties, worries, things like that. So on that note, we're going to start the very first week. Is all we're going to talk about is worry and anxiety, man, because as a baseball player, worry and anxiety are killers, man. They can be killers for us just off the field as we are concerned about how we're going to play next game or how we played last game. And then in the course of the game, just worrying about our next at bat, worrying about our next pitch, the next ball that gets hit to me. Man, I've been there, played baseball for a whole lot of years, and it can be tough when you're in a slump or you're not just feeling like you've got a feel for the baseball as a pitcher, or you're not seeing the ball well as a fielder. All of those things, man, can just cause us to worry. So this week we're going to talk about worry and anxiety. Very first verse that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen too, is in Luke chapter 12, and it's verses 22 through 25, and it's Jesus talking to his disciples, and he's talking to them. They're worrying about their food and their clothing and where that's going to come from, and he's trying to talk them kind of down off the ledge about that. And so, but I think it talks a lot about baseball to us and how we can handle worry and anxiety. So he basically just says, man, worry is very counterproductive. It doesn't do the thing that we want it to do. As a matter of fact, it actually makes it worse. So here we go, jumping in, Luke chapter 12, verse 22. And Jesus said to his disciples, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, nor about your body, what you will put on. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Consider the ravens, they neither sow nor reap, they have neither storehouses nor barn, and yet God feeds them." So he's saying, hey, don't be anxious. Really, your life consists of more than food and more than clothing. And we take it for granted, the fact that we have food and clothing. But back then, man, they couldn't take that for granted. They were constantly worrying about, where's my next meal going to come from? Am I going to have the clothes, the shelter that I need? Man, and we're worrying about our next at bat on a baseball field, man, this game that God's given us as a gift. So he's saying life consists of more than food and clothing, but for us, man, if life consists of more than food and clothing, then definitely consists of more than baseball. He goes on and says, consider the ravens. They don't sow, they don't reap. So he's talking about, look at the birds of the air. Man, they can't prepare themselves for the next day. They don't have the ability to plant food and go reap it. But I take care of them. And then he goes on to say, of how much more value are you than the birds? And he's saying, you as a human being that God's created in his image, man, you are more valuable than birds. He's going to take care of you and give you every single thing you need. Not always everything we want, but everything we need. And there's a lot of comfort in that, and knowing the God of the universe is going to be taking care of us if we trust in him. And then he goes on to say, this is the kicker, and which of you by being anxious can add a single hour to his span of life? And so basically Jesus is saying, man, what does worrying accomplish? Our worrying doesn't do anything to add time to our lives. And on the baseball field, our worrying isn't going to add a hit to our resume. It's not going to add another strikeout. If anything, it's going to do the exact opposite of that. The more that we worry, the more that we're concerned, the less confident we are at the plate, and the less that we're trusting that the Lord's given us these gifts and abilities, and we can just go out and trust them and just use them as we're out on the field. And so Jesus basically said, man, worry is counterproductive. So I hope that you can take that, and if you're struggling with it, man, I just encourage you to pray to the Lord and just talk to him. Say, Lord, I'm struggling with worry and anxiety. I'm really concerned about the game, and it's just bothering me, and I can't get it off my mind. And just lay it down at his feet and just ask him to give you peace and give you comfort. and we'll continue to talk on the topic of worry and anxiety. So tune in tomorrow.